Have you ever had the feeling that you're doing everything right, being attentive, present, affectionate, but even so, she seems increasingly distant, as if the more you try to please her, the more she ignores you? Man, this happens to more men than you imagine. And the worst part is, they think the problem is a lack of effort, when in reality, it's the excess of effort that destroys attraction. There's a silent pattern that pushes women away. And most men make this mistake every day without realizing it. You might be handsome, intelligent, have great conversation, but if you don't understand the hidden game of seduction, if you don't know how to generate emotional tension, curiosity, self-worth, you'll remain that nice guy she respects, but never truly desires. And it starts subtly. At first, she even shows interest. She responds quickly, laughs at your jokes, shows a desire to see you. But little by little, she stops responding with the same energy. The conversations cool down. You start to wonder what happened, where you went wrong. And that's when many enter the destructive cycle of trying to prove their worth, to be even more present, to show that they are there for everything. But let me tell you a truth that nobody tells you. Attraction isn't logical, it's emotional. And when you act like love is a transaction, like I do everything for her so she should like me, you become predictable, without challenge, without magnetism. And women aren't attracted to predictability. They're attracted to emotion, contrast, presence, mystery. The mistake begins when you negate yourself trying to please others. When you start responding to everything too quickly, saying yes to everything, always being available. This seems right. After all, we were taught that we should treat those we like well. But there's a fine line between being a kind man and being a man who sells himself cheaply. And the truth is that every woman has an emotional radar, an invisible sensor that subconsciously assesses your worth. And this radar doesn't read what you say, but rather what you transmit with your actions. If you send the message that your life revolves around her, that she is your prize, that you need to win her approval at any cost, guess what? She senses it and loses interest, because seduction depends on something fundamental. A balance of emotional power. You might be amazing, but if you don't know how to communicate that value in the right way, you'll end up being just another guy who's too nice to be taken seriously. And the craziest part? Many of these guys have everything to succeed. Looks, career, intelligence. But they fail at the most important thing, understanding the real dynamics of attraction. And maybe that's why you feel trapped. Like you're playing a game where you weren't given the rules. You see less prepared guys doing better while you continue to be ignored, left hanging, or stuck in the infamous friend zone. But what if I told you there's a pattern of behavior that can turn the tables in your favor? That there's a set of subtle, almost invisible attitudes that make a woman see you as magnetic, irresistible, and of high value. Stay with me, because from now on, you're going to understand exactly why what you're doing, even with good intentions, is killing her interest, and what to do to reverse it before she distances herself completely. And now pay attention, because this is where most men get lost without even realizing it. The biggest mistake that makes a woman completely lose interest isn't a lack of attitude, it isn't shyness, and it isn't looks. It's when you try to be the perfect guy all the time. That man who believes that if he does everything right, if he's always pleasing, if he's always available, the woman will automatically be attracted to him. But the psychology of attraction doesn't work that way. This man starts by responding to all messages immediately. He starts cancelling appointments to fit her into his schedule. He starts saying yes to everything, agreeing with everything, validating everything. He thinks he's showing value, but what he's really communicating is neediness. And neediness is one of the biggest killers of seduction, because deep down, female attraction is emotional and subconscious. She senses, even without realizing it, when you're trying too hard. And the more you try to please, the more predictable you become. And predictability kills desire. There's no emotional tension, no mystery, no feeling of, I still haven't figured this guy out. On the contrary, you become an open book. She already knows you'll be there, that you'll respond, that you'll accept, that you'll adapt. And when there's no risk of losing you, there's no emotional reason to win you over. This is how the famous emotional rug is born. The man who gradually erases himself, who puts the woman at the center of his life, who begins to measure his own worth by the attention he receives from her. And perhaps you don't even realize you're doing this, because it all comes disguised as good intentions, care, and affection. But the result is always the same. She begins to see you as someone guaranteed, too comfortable, too predictable. And here's an important point about the psychology of attraction that few men understand. Women don't connect with men who live to please. They connect with men who have direction, priorities, boundaries, and self-esteem. When you put yourself below her, when you adapt too much, when you make it clear that she is the center of your world, you break the balance of value in the relationship before it even exists. Perhaps you've experienced this before. In the beginning, everything flows. Then, the responses become colder. She takes longer. She starts saying she's confused, that she doesn't know what she wants, that she prefers to take things slowly. And you're left lost, trying to understand where you went wrong. But the mistake wasn't something you failed to do. It was exactly what you did too much of. Being 100% available all the time communicates that you have nothing more important going on. And this, on a subconscious level, triggers an alert. Because if you don't value yourself, why should she? Seduction works when there's reciprocity, when there's curiosity, when there's room for longing. And a man who is never absent, never sets boundaries, and never prioritizes his own life eliminates all of that. Now tell me in the comments, just one word: available. If you feel this mistake has ever hindered you in a relationship or attempt to win someone over, comment available. Or comment, I've been there, if this story seems too familiar. I really want to know if this makes sense to you so far, because in the next part, I'm going to show you what truly generates attraction, what completely changes the way a woman sees you, and how small adjustments in your behavior can transform you from someone predictable into someone magnetic, without games, without pretending, and without needing to change who you are inside. But if excessive availability drives people away, what truly holds a woman emotionally? The answer lies in something few men explore: the power of perceived value. And before you think this has to do with money, social status, or physical appearance, it has nothing to do with that. Perceived value is linked to how you position yourself emotionally. It's connected to your masculine energy, how you conduct your life, and the feeling that you don't need anyone to feel complete. Women are attracted to men who convey security, direction, and purpose. And there's something almost magnetic about the demeanor of a man who isn't desperate for attention. A man who doesn't give himself away completely right away, who doesn't reveal all his feelings in the first week, who doesn't justify every step he takes, because that creates emotional mystery. And mystery is essential to keeping interest alive. The unknown seduces, the predictable bores. When you give everything away at once, without leaving her room to discover you, you break the natural dynamic of seduction. She doesn't feel the need to win you over because everything has already been given. And guess what? The female brain, driven by emotion and a desire for challenge, automatically shuts off that attraction radar. She sees you as a nice, trustworthy guy, but not as the kind of man who stirs her emotions. And at the end of the day, that's what makes the difference between a passionate relationship and a fleeting interest. Do you know what she's really looking for, even without saying it? She's looking for someone who challenges her emotionally, not in the sense of playing games, but in the sense of having a life of his own, of being a strong presence that doesn't revolve around her, but that she finds pleasure in conquering. A man with poise, who knows what he wants, who sets boundaries naturally. That's emotional authority, and that's what triggers the deepest impulses of female desire. And here's the most important point. When you learn to value your own presence, women also begin to see you in a different light, because you start to communicate, without saying a word, that you are a choice, not just any option. You move from the role of the one trying to be chosen to the one who chooses. Now let's talk about something more direct. How to reverse this dynamic today. There are 3 simple but powerful adjustments that instantly increase your value. And the first is, have priorities that don't revolve around her. Your life needs to continue being lived with or without her. Your goals, your routine, your focus. All of this shows that you have a solid foundation, and that's magnetic. No woman is interested in a man who abandons himself to live her life. The second adjustment is what I call strategic silence. Not every message needs an immediate response. Not every provocation needs a reaction. Your ability to wait, to observe, to remain calm, communicates emotional maturity. And that, incredibly, is very rare and extremely valuable. The third point is the most subtle, but perhaps the most powerful. Show, without speaking, that you choose who you get involved with. Be selective. Value your attention. Show that being with you is a privilege, not because you play hard to get, but because you know your worth. This completely changes how women look at you. Now, if you've realized that giving too much of yourself has hindered your connection with someone, comment here, "I gave everything." And if you understand that you need to change that, comment, "From today on, I am the prize." I want to see who is truly committed to turning the tables and starting to attract women naturally, without having to chase them all the time.